Ryan Braun, you lying sack of shit. It was so sweet to see you just get suspended for the rest of the year. Alex Rodriguez will be joining you. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the Major League Baseball player Ryan Braun of the Milwaukee Brewers, who got out of a positive PED test, performance-enhancing drug test, last year on a technicality because the guy that was running the test results back to the lab didn't get there in time. There's like a certain time window you have to get the test results back. Anyway, he stood up and just said, "Oh, I'm wrongfully accused. I never did this." And now an investigation is showing into this clinic down in Florida that he, along with a dozen plus other Major League Baseball players, went to this place to get PEDs to help enhance their play, reduce recovery time for an injury, stuff like that, any number of things. Anyway, he's guilty. He's admitted to guilt now, and he's done all this after lying, and just stating his innocence. What a fucking scumbag. Just all these athletes that quote-unquote cheat, break the rules, get caught red-handed, get away on a technicality, claim they're innocent, and then just turn face again and be like, "Alright, I cheated." It's nice to see baseball, quote-unquote, cleaning up their act, because they've probably been one of the most drugged up sports per capita of anything out there besides cycling. But this begs the question, and I was listening to sports talk radio today, and the ongoing trial and just trying to get HGH tested for in the NFL. HGH is human growth hormone. You can take this; it has very similar effects to what a steroid is. It's what your body produces, to help regenerate muscle, to help generate muscle. Period. Help cut down on injury time when you do get injured, stuff like that. It's also linked to diabetes, heart failure, a number of other things like kidney failure. Stuff that you don't really want to have happen to you if you take this in excessive amounts. But in the NFL, there's no testing for it. And frankly, I don't think the general public gives a shit. But in baseball, people that are caught using HGH or seen to be using HGH are shunned. The thought of saying like, "Oh, imagine if they had HGH in baseball," it's like, no, you can't have that. That's a PED. That's not allowed. But yet in football, there's not even testing for it. So it makes you wonder, if there is no testing for it, why shouldn't people use it in the NFL? It's a legal way in the system right now to become enhanced in your game. And you do have to wonder how much of it is actually in the game itself. Now, I'm not accusing Adrian Peterson of doing anything, but I'm going to use him as an example here of a scenario that is very suspect. Very suspect. You have him towards, was it ACL or MCL in that game against Washington at that shitty field they have there in Washington. Anyway, he tears major ligaments in his knee and is like doubtful for the next year. Last year, he was doubtful to play. Not only does this guy play, but he has the greatest season of his career, and on top of that, it's one of the single greatest offensive seasons in the history of the NFL. He was just yards shy of breaking the all-time single season rushing record. How does he do that after tearing major ligaments in his knee just months ago, and then goes out to have this phenomenal performance? You gotta wonder, is he taking stuff like HGH to help repair his knee faster, to help increase his strength? Maybe he had a good reason to finally take it now, because he's like, man, I got to get back in the game. I got to show people I got to prove that I can play. So maybe he went real heavy on the HGH to cut back on that recovery time, to get his body strengthened up beyond the point he ever had it before. And again, I'm not saying I know for a fact he did HGH, but boy, that is a scenario where you got to go, maybe there is something very suspect there, because you don't find too many people that tear their knee, come back months later, and have one of the single greatest seasons in the history of the sport. He single-handedly carried the Vikings to the playoffs, for Christ's sakes. Again, not saying I absolutely know for a fact, but you see something like that, and it's just like, And you got to ask yourself, even if he came out right now and said, you know what, I took HGH. I wanted my knee to recover faster. I wanted to be bigger, faster, stronger in the 2012 season, so I took it. Would people even care? I mean, it's not a banned substance in the NFL right now. They don't even test for it. So why would anyone care? But yet, in a sport like baseball, Americans do care. Why is that? And it's such a joke. One of the biggest jokes about this whole HGH shit, whatever you want to call it, in the NFL, is one of the proposed things that the Players Union put out there to test for HGH was to test players right now in random samples, randomly pick players off of every single team, get a solid sample amount, test all the people, not punish them if they found HGH, but just detect how many people are using HGH. And this is the actual plan that is proposed on the table. And from those test results, get a baseline analysis of how much HGH is being used, and when you have that baseline established, in the future, anyone that exceeds that baseline will be punished. Does anyone see the glaring flaw with this logic? This would be like saying, let's go to the local bar in the town and figure out what the proper blood alcohol content should be for this town by taking random blood samples for people that are sitting at the bar, and then say, oh, okay, the average blood sample was 0.9 or whatever. Anyway, the point being is that this is ridiculous. If you're taking a sample from an era that is quote-unquote dirty, then your sample is worthless. The sample is allowing for HGH users to continue using. I don't get why people aren't outraged over the NFL. I love the NFL more than any other sport, and anyone that watches this channel more than a day knows that. Well, I'm telling you, it's just a glaring hypocrisy in this country right now to shun baseball so bad and applaud them when they suspend people like Ryan Braun for the entire year. And granted, I'm one of them applauding him because that guy's a lying sack of shit. Anyway, A-Rod, you could join the band bus with him. I like seeing people like that get punished because they are cheating the system, they are taking an unfair advantage. But again, in the NFL, is it because the NFL is more popular that we just say, well, who cares if they're using HGH? Who cares if they're using human growth hormone? Who cares if it's going to give them kidney disease or rot their liver or give them heart failure? You know, people can, play pro and con, or play devil's advocate with this and say, well, smoking can give you, lung cancer and heart disease, so I guess we better ban smoking as well. Well, smoking isn't necessarily giving you a performance enhancement, so anyone that tries to use that argument, think about that for a second. I don't know. I just find it astonishing that so many people today are applauding baseball, and again, I'm one of them applauding it. But at the same time, are you just accepting of the NFL having no such policy for human growth hormone and no known testing for it right now, and the fact that Roger Goodell came in here to take over and clean up football, and the last collective bargaining agreement the season before last, he couldn't even get a proper HGH testing protocol put in place, and the Players Union is going to dick around with it over semantics as well. Both sides are just as fucked up on this as the other, as far as I'm concerned. Again, baseball tests for it, and they will punish the shit out of you if you find it for it, but in the NFL, it's fine. Why is that? And why is America so accepting of it? Is it because the NFL is just so hyper popular? Is it because the NFL doesn't want to be, drugged through the mud like baseball is? I mean, I really think the NFL survived just fine. I mean, it would be a massive mud drudging, for lack of a better term, but I don't know. I just find it stunning. Every time like a big story like this comes up with a big dose of suspensions in baseball, and the NFL, it's just like, gotta give them a pass or something. I don't know what it is. Anyways, just something to think about today. And fuck you, Ryan Braun. Fuck you, A-Rod. And fuck everyone else that went to that clinic down in Florida and cheated the system, when getting caught now is just so much more damning. And these guys, like Ryan Braun, his entire career's tainted. A-Rod, your entire legacy is tainted. You could have went down as one of the single greatest players in the game, and now you'll be lucky to ever get into the Hall of Fame. It might take you 30 years after being eligible to do so. But anyway, have a great day, everyone.